Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys, and happy Friday. How you doing?
Happy Friday, Alex. Yeah.
NBA Finals in tonight. Parade Monday downtown Los Angeles featuring Shannon Sharpe.
That'll be only 3 games.
Lead car.
It'll only be 3 games.
Parade master.
Yeah, we got to get to 4 games.
No. The Heat will say, we've had enough. We're going home.
No.
We're tired of the bubble. Bubble burst.
Maybe Thursday.
Maybe Thursday? How about tonight? It's over. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Oh, y'all, okay.
Yeah, I've seen enough.
Okay, you're not going to watch it anymore.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. But let's get to it, because fans all across Twitter have been calling out Kyrie Irving for taking a shot at his former teammate LeBron James. Now, Kyrie, who's now a Brooklyn Net along with Kevin Durant, said that he was excited that for the first time in his career, he feels like someone else on the team is capable of taking the final shot besides himself. Now, after Kyrie saw many calling it a shot at LeBron, he put up a video on Instagram denying that it had anything to do with LeBron. But Shannon, do you consider this taking a shot at LeBron?
It was absolutely a shot at LeBron, and he knows it was a shot at LeBron. Skip, let this sink in for a second. Now, you're on a team with a guy that's won 4 MVPs. He's won 3 Finals MVP. He's gone to not. You played with him. He had gone to. He gone to 4 straight in Miami, and he came back with you and went to 3 straight before you dipped. And you're saying that for the very first time in your career, you got a guy on your team now that can make the shots that you. But here's the thing, and Skip, this is how someone repeatedly saying something gets thought of as being true. Is because we see that in a lot of today's society, is that people just constantly repeat something and they believe that to be true. Because people have constantly repeated that LeBron James is unclutched. And it is the greatest lie that's probably been told. Because here's what LeBron is. In game time or go-ahead shots in the final minutes of playoff games, Kyrie Irving is 2 of 3. Only made 1 other shot other than the Game 7. LeBron James is 20 of 41, 49%, 4 of 8 from 3. That's 50%. It is the same lie that because I was a Prop 48 coming out of school that Shannon Sharpe was dumb. And they kept saying that, man, he dumb, he dumb. Shannon Sharpe was never dumb. Because I didn't do well on a standardized test, that doesn't make it. And what has transpired because LeBron James did not win the 2011 Finals against Mavericks, the Mavs, people said, well, he's unclutched. No, he's not. LeBron James is the most clutch player in NBA. That's
stop it.
The numbers say that.
I let you get to that point. That's just the biggest bunch of hogwash that's ever been spilled in the middle of this.
What does the number say?
He is the worst superstar clutch free throw shooter in the history of basketball. He runs from the free throw line like nobody in the history of basketball.
Okay, President Trump, you gonna let me talk?
Oh, stop.
Give me my time. Let me talk. And I'm gonna let you go.
Oh, so are you gonna give me the ultimate insult? Call me that guy?
You gonna talk over me?
Yeah. Do you want me to call you that guy?
If you're gonna talk over me, or you gonna let me talk?
You interrupt me all the time, but I'll let you get away with it.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All right.
Kyrie, Kyrie is jealous of LeBron. That's why he up and left. Kyrie wanted the perks that LeBron James had. He thought once he hit that big shot, he was on LeBron's level. But the thing was, Skip, yes, he hit that shot. But what was known about that, did you know prior to that the Warriors were up 87-83? Do you know who scored the next 6 points for the Cavaliers? LeBron James did. And because LeBron had the chase down block, it got just as much play as Kyrie's shot. That bothered Kyrie. Kyrie got upset that once he hit that shot, he thought he should get the same perks. He thought he should get the privileges that LeBron James was afforded. And once he did not, he wanted to bounce. But Skip, what was Kyrie before LeBron? What's Kyrie been since LeBron? And it's funny. You notice, Skip, that here's the second time Kyrie's done this. When they were getting ready to go to the bubble, they shouldn't be in the bubble, as he wasn't going to be allowed to go to the bubble. It's ironic he's making these comments from home as LeBron James is in his 10th final. You don't find that ironic? I find it very ironic. Skip, everybody was ready for Kyrie to go. Nobody wanted Kyrie in Boston. It's a reoccurring theme. And then he said what he said, Skip. Coaching is going to be a collaborative issue. How you think Steve Nash feels about that, Skip? It's going to be a collaborative issue. Really? Neither one of they got 2 guys, Skip. Neither one of them been a leader. They got two guys, and neither one of them been a leader. Because the leader in OKC was you-know-who. The leader in Golden State was you-know-who. Kyrie's never been a leader. See, Kyrie is under the assumption, and a lot of people are, if you are a great player, that automatically makes you a leader. You having covered the game, he having played, no, that is a lie.
Yep.
And this is all about jealousy. And LeBron was absolutely correct. The reason why he and AD work is because there is no jealousy between the two. I want you to succeed. You want me to succeed. Skip, the reason why Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen worked was because Scottie knew he wasn't at the same level as Michael Jordan. But when you get two guys and they're alphas and they believe that they're equal, think about this, Skip. Magic Johnson and Kareem. Kareem was already a 5-time league MVP, had won a finals MVP. He won the regular season MVP, Magic Johnson's rookie year, but he stayed with Magic another 8 years. As Magic started to win finals MVP, he started to win regular season MVP, there was no conflict. It takes a lot to be able to do that, Skip. But you know he took a shot at LeBron. To say this, and when LeBron hit the shot in Cleveland, was he there then, Skip? Was he there when LeBron hit that shot against Chicago? Was he there? He was absolutely on the team. And then he come running to hug it, because I saw the video. I pulled the video. And then he come running. Don't do this, Kyrie. To say that you've been the best, you've been the only guy on your team, when a guy has this kind of resume, game in, game out. Stop it, Kyrie. This is ridiculous. Yes, he took a shot, and LeBron was more than right to take the shot back.
Okay. My turn. Here's how I put this in perspective. Let's think about what just happened. This was Kevin Durant's debut podcast. First one out of the box.
Yes.
And he invites his brother, Kyrie, on.
Correct.
They are best friends.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And they are kicking it, and they're talking about any and everything in the world. And they are 1,000% comfortable because they're best friends.
Yes.
There's no interviewer you might or might not trust.
Right.
It's KD and Kyrie.
Correct.
So this subject somehow comes up. And all of a sudden, Kyrie just blurts his heart on this. And he blurts and blurts and blurts. And I don't have any problem with it. But let's analyze how he said it. That on every team he's ever been on, he felt like he was the best option down the stretch. That was the phrase he used, down the stretch. This is the first time, he said, in my career, I've looked down and I'm like, that MF can make this shot too.
Right.
Meaning Kevin Durant.
Correct.
And he'll probably do it a lot easier. So he's trying to gush the ultimate
KD.
compliment that he could pay KD. He's sitting with him face to face, and he's trying to say to him, before they ever play a game together, you know what? You're even more clutch than I am. So I'm going to have no problem deferring to you, Kevin Durant, in ways I would never have deferred to anyone else that I've ever played with. Because you've proven you're clutch at the highest level. He didn't say this, but I'll fill in the blanks.
Yes.
Kevin, obviously, in back-to-back NBA finals, with the weight of the NBA world on his shoulders, with everybody waiting for him to fall on his face after he left Russell Westbrook and joined forces with the Golden State Warriors. They were waiting for him to collapse so that everybody could say, look at what you did. And instead, in back-to-back game threes in the King's Palace in Cleveland, he took over 2 game threes that were the turning point game of those 2 finals. And he made one shot in the first game 3 right in LeBron's grill. And it was the game changer. And the point was, he became the finals MVP back-to-back at LeBron's expense. So now Kyrie is leaping to this conclusion that, man, he's the clutchest there is. He's even more clutch than I am. So the problem with all of the above is that you don't even mention LeBron. You could have disqualified it a little bit by saying, hey, I did play with LeBron, and LeBron's really great, but we didn't get any of that. We got complete omission of LeBron James. He didn't even damn him with faint praise. He damned him
with no praise.
With no praise. I mean, he condemned him. He didn't damn him. He just condemned him with no praise.
Because everybody knows that Kyrie played with LeBron Skip for 3 years.
And he wasn't even in the conversation here. So, again, I was fine with that. I believe in that. You don't. But I believe in what he said is true. And I don't have any problem with him saying it. I just need him to own it.
Yes.
If you say it, own it.
Exactly.
So then he goes on, he posted a couple of videos. I don't know, IG or Twitter, I'm not even sure where they were. But the point was, he didn't exactly backtrack or back off. He did not apologize. He did not say, oh, I messed up. I don't know what I was thinking. I forgot to even mention it.
No.
He didn't do that.
Right.
He condemned us, the media or the internet in general, for, why must it always be brother against brother? Why? If I'm addressing anyone, I'll say their name.
No, you wouldn't.
No, you didn't.
Right.
Okay?
Just like you didn't say when you left to go to Boston, you didn't say why you wanted to leave.
He did
you
not.
say, I just want an opportunity to lead my own team.
Come on, y'all. Don't listen to the false narratives. Let people live their lives. You started it. We didn't.
You brought it to
said
us.
it. We didn't say a word.
Absolutely correct.
And just because you're on somebody's podcast, it doesn't mean it was a private conversation.
Thank you.
It's public.
Yes.
It's just as public as if he were sitting right here on Undisputed and we were on live national TV.
Yes.
It is live, almost, it's quasi-live, national, whatever you want to call it, medium, okay? And he goes on and on to say, but we live in a clickbait society and it becomes something bigger. You don't have to defend it. That's just what the media does. I'm not going to let it pit me against anybody anymore. Well, you did it, Kyrie. We didn't do it. We're just responding and reacting to what you did.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to defend what he said because I do think that Kyrie is very clutch. And I do think we know what he did if we just see real quick. So he hits the shot of shots in Game 7 at Oracle.
Yes. You and I both believe, Skip, it's the biggest shot in playoff history.
So I think we have that shot. Here's the one at Golden State, just to remind everybody. A little bit of a fall-away jumper. Nobody could make a shot, and he finally made a shot. Okay, so that became the game winner. Then we also have the Christmas Day shot. Do you remember? It was a big match in 2016, Christmas Day. It was our first year, first fall together here. And this is on Klay Thompson, a fall-away at the buzzer that won the game. Okay, so he's capable of doing that. And then the one I will never forget came against my Spurs when they were the defending champs in 2015. And it was a huge midseason game at San Antonio. And this is Kyrie at the end of this game. He was out of his mind. He scored 57 points. That ties it and sends it to overtime. And when he made that shot, I just fell on the floor and said, that's just too good. Yeah. Because he'd been doing that all night long. Yes. So I'm demonstrating he can back it up. He's backed it up before. He is clutch. So, again...
But Skip, but the process of you saying that he's clutch and Kyrie saying he's clutch, you're saying LeBron is unclutch, and that's not true.
Okay, here's my point on LeBron. It took him 6 years to finally make his first game-winning shot, what you would call a buzzer beater or a walk-off. And I watch every LeBron game, so I was watching that Friday night. It was against Ronnie Turioff at Oakland, ironically, in 2009. Took 6 years for him to make that shot. And he did hit that shot heard around the world on the catch and shoot where he just had to shoot it at the buzzer, and that was a big one, but then they flamed out the rest of the way against Orlando. And he did make that layup against Paul George, but it was just a left-handed layup, and it was a buzzer beater, and I'm going to give you that one. It led to Ray Allen, but he took the shot to tie the game against the Spurs, 2013 Game 6. And he LeBricked it, and Ray Allen saved his legacy. I don't care what you say, he just did. That was the greatest clutch shot I've ever seen. Shot me right in the heart because that was my Spurs. So then at Chicago, what happened on that play? This is why Kyrie is correct in what he's saying. David Blatt had already decided our clutch guy, our closer, is Kyrie. Okay. So he calls the play in the huddle at Chicago in what was a pivotal playoff game. He calls Kyrie's number, and he calls for LeBron to inbound the basketball. And to LeBron's undying credit, he said no. That was the greatest moment to me of LeBron's career. That was the first moment I said, that's what I want to see, because he got mad about it, and he said, no, that's not right. It's my ball. I want the ball. And what did he do? It wasn't a three-point shot. He just caught it.
But
just
did he
inside.
make it?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not unclutch then.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I was like him when he gets mad, but too many hundreds of times He has run from the late game free throw line and taken long threes and missed them.
Skip,
no, I'm not. I've said it from the start. You can go back and check the tape of me in 2004. This kid is running from the free throw line because he's a way below average free throw shooter.
Okay, but here's the thing. In game time of going-ahead shots in the final minutes of the playoff, LeBron James is 20 of 41, 4 of 8 from the three. Kyrie Irving in Cleveland, LeBron James is 15 of 35 for 43%. Kyrie is 7 of 25 for 28%. I just want to know one thing. You tell me Kevin Durant's clutch, and he is clutch, but was he clutch in 2016 up 3-1?
Nope, but what have I told you about? And I defended Kevin on this, and I said it at the time. He was sick and tired of his point guards. Okay, but Shannon, you either get the ball or you don't get the ball where you can score the basketball. You have shots that you can make that are called for you, but Russell Westbrook was the primary decision maker. It's why he up and left. He said, I can't control. He dribbles the ball up the floor, and he either takes it himself or sometimes he'll lob it to me over on the wing and say, you do it.
I get that,
okay?
Skip, but you see what But you see what you did, Skip? Anytime Kevin Durant comes up unclutch, you find a reason that he wasn't clutch in that moment. Okay, but you blame Russ.
But in his biggest moments against LeBron head-to-head,
So that wasn't a big moment up 3-1.
Okay, but he's saying it was taken out of my hands. I'm not the prime. If Kevin brought the ball up to 4 like LeBron
Skip, did you see him in game 6 when they were up 3-1? Did you see Kevin Durant in game 6? Okay, Skip, here's the thing. Kyrie with LeBron on the floor in the playoffs, he shoots a higher percentage from the floor, a higher percentage from the three. He's plus 359. Minus LeBron, he's without LeBron, he's minus 49.
Okay.
Those are Kyrie numbers.
So why would a Mike Malone be 5 years the assistant in Cleveland and say publicly during the Last Dance documentary airing that LeBron didn't have the killer mentality that Jordan had?
You see? And that gets repeated. Just like Anthony Davis doesn't have that dog in him. That gets repeated. Why didn't Michael Malone say that after game 5? That LeBron James didn't have that killer instinct. That was his perfect time. Not after the Last Dance, you're not playing against him. He should have said that then. If he'd have said that then I'd have had a lot. I like Michael Malone. I think he's going great. I think he's going to do great things for the Nuggets. But I needed him to say what he said after the Last Dance. I needed him to say that after game 5. Why didn't he say it then, Skip? That was his opportunity to be the man that you believe that he is, that you praised him because you came out here and you had the clip ready to go. Michael Malone, he doesn't have that killer instinct. Why didn't he say that after the game 5 loss, Lakers versus the Nuggets? Why didn't he say that then?
Well, obviously, he's not going to say that then. But he spoke his heart when he was asked about it.
Okay.
And you know what? It was pretty gutsy to say that because the season was still going. It was going to finish.
Skip, it's easy to speak your heart. Skip, we get this on the internet. It's easy to speak your heart when you're on the keyboard. We call that keyboard courage. We call that thumb muscles. But when you got to face the man in the arena, he wouldn't say what he said.
Well, he had to know when he said that back in whatever month it was during the pandemic, he had to know there was a possibility he was going to have to face it.
Because everybody, Skip, most people thought, I'm sure he didn't think that, it's going to be the Clippers and Lakers, so I'm never going to have an opportunity. My bad, I shouldn't have said that. Skip, this notion that LeBron, because we've seen him do it, Skip, he has more buzzer beaters in the playoffs than Michael and Kobe combined. Skip, that's fact. That's not conjecture.
I've pointed out to you again and again and again how many times he has run from a last shot, including against the Nuggets. I showed you what happened on the inbounds pass. They called LeBron's number, and he was
decoyed him.
He was 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter. They did not decoy
Yes, it was.
He was 1 for 6, and he was having a bad night at the free throw line, and he's thinking, I cannot put myself in this position. High IQ, highest in basketball. So the number is called for him, and as Rondo pats the ball for everybody to move, LeBron just stood still. And Anthony had to circle all the way across the top of the circle to the far wing to get the pass and shoot it on the fly.
If you don't mind me asking, if nobody is afraid of him, why was Jeremy Grant fronting him and Mason Plumlee runs directly to LeBron James and not cover his guy?
I have no idea what that was.
Exactly, because they know what's up. Skip, here's the thing. If you look at and see what happens is clutch. Oh, he's not clutch. Then all of a sudden you change the narrative to free throws.
I don't change it. I started the narrative.
Okay.
Go look it up. You can check the tape. I started in 2005. He's a poor free throw shooter, and he doesn't want that. What have I always called him from the start? Greatest driver of the basketball I've ever seen. Unstoppable freight train to the rim. But you have to know that you could be sent to the free throw line, and you've got to go make those free. They're called free throws. He is the worst superstar free throw shooter below 7 feet we've ever seen.
Okay, well okay. If that's the case, he's the greatest superstar clutch ball maker of any of them. Because you say the playoff is when you grow your legend. Well, he has more game-winning buzzer beater shots than anybody in the history of the game.
He's played 269 more games than Michael Jordan. Think about that. 269 more opportunities for buzzer beaters. And over time, he's played so long with so many minutes, he's about to have the second most minutes in the whole league.
But if he's unclutched like you said he is, it doesn't matter if he plays 3,000 more games than Michael Jordan. If he's as unclutched as you and Kyrie says, he ain't got no business even being on this list.
Well, it's funny to me how people outside of me continue to question his clutchness. It's always like, it's my fault. But then Kyrie's doing it, and Mike Malone's doing it, and I can do a litany of people who have questioned. David Blatt did it. He said, I'm calling the last play for Kyrie Irving.
We see what's going on. Repetitions of a lie doesn't make it the truth. Just because someone says something that's false and somebody else repeats it and it gets carried and it catches like wildfire out here in California, Skip, that doesn't make it true. He hit the shot against Orlando. He hit the shot against Chicago. He hit the shot against Toronto. He's made more clutch against Indiana. He's made more clutch shots in the last 5 minutes, within 5, than anybody, Michael and Kobe combined. And people say they're the greatest clutch performers in NBA history, and he has more of those in the playoffs than both of them. Did he play? Let me ask you a question, though, Skip. So if he got 200 more games than Michael Jordan, does he have 200 more games than Kobe and Michael combined? Because he has more game winners than both of them combined. Does he have more games than both of them combined?
If we took a vote of everybody in the history of basketball, who do you want to have the last shot between Jordan and LeBron? Who do you think would win?
It
would be a landslide for the GOAT. It would be a landslide.
Because what's to happen? Because the lie has been repeated that LeBron is unclutched. If I show you the numbers, Skip, the numbers say LeBron James is. He's made more and he has a higher percentage.
But he's missed so many more than they have, and he's run from so many more than they have.
Michael Jordan says, I've failed 5,000 times. That's why I'm able to succeed. See, when he says that, we like, see, that's why Michael's great. And he said something, I read something that Jackie McMullen said. She was asking him about pressure of the moment and afraid of taking the shot. He said, if you're afraid of the moment, you're afraid of taking the shot, you're afraid that you might miss it, you haven't practiced that shot enough. LeBron James put everybody, Skip, the one thing you hear everybody says, he's the first in the gym, he's the last out of the gym, the time that he spends on his craft. But for people to continuously take these shots at it, these pot shots, Skip, why do you think Kevin Durant went to where he was? And why did he leave? Because he wanted what LeBron James had. And even after winning 2 Finals MVP, he still couldn't get the love. So what did he do? He up and ran to Brooklyn. And then he gets mad when people don't give him the credit, say, oh, LeBron got fanboys. He wants that. Kevin Durant wants fanboys, but he can't get them.
In the end, players know players, stars know stars. And Kyrie is showing you his heart. He just doesn't believe the other guy's clutch.
Skip, just because people might not believe in climate change and people might not believe in COVID, Skip, that doesn't make it true. Just because you don't believe something, that's Kyrie's reality. He also believed the earth is flat. So that's the guy that you're believing in. That's the guy that you taking to your bank. Like you tell me, is that the guy you taking to your bank?
That's the guy I test. And when I'm rooting against Kyrie, he scares me to death. When I'm rooting against LeBron in the clutch, he does not scare me to death.
But think about what you did, though. You rooted for the Clippers. And so then it went from Portland to Houston, to the Nuggets, to now the Heat, and now the Heat ain't winning. You were like a lot of the rest of them, AD gonna win Finals MVP. You gotta find something to hate on him about because you're running out of teams. He done dispatched all the teams, and so now let me find something else.
I already told you, I said it going in. This will be his easiest path to the finals ever if he avoids the Clippers. I told you.
No, that's not what you said at the beginning of the season.
But the odds makers said the Clippers were better than the Lakers, and so did I.
Okay, what the odds makers? So what odds makers lose a lot of money?
I don't know.
They lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
But see, Skip, that's how they built Vegas. Mm-hmm. They built Vegas because somebody thought they knew more. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And Steve Wynn done became a multi-billionaire. He ain't doing that on winners' money, Skip.
One team was looking ahead to the other team because that team knew it could beat the other team.
I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know what they're looking at. All I know is they're in Cancun.
Right now, the Clippers would be cakewalking over the Miami Heat.
All I know is that they're in Cancun, and I can't determine which is which because everybody's skins. Because it's hot in Cancun right now. That's what they are. Kawhi in Cancun, PG. They looking to move PG.
Yeah. And you get to play a Miami Heat team probably without Bam or Dragic. Way to go.
Hold up, Skip.
Congratulations.
Skip. People didn't say that about Kawhi when he won that thing without KD, when he won that without...
I think you said it like every other minute on this show.
What about when Golden State beat him without Kyrie and Kevin Love? Y'all didn't give LeBron anything. He lost. If he's the guy, he got to win that. Okay, then.
Well,
what?
He's the best
all right,
player
guys.
on the planet.
Well, whether or not this was a shot at LeBron, the ultimate response to an insult is winning, and it's looking like LeBron is
looking good at his Skip.
Again.
It's over.
No.
See, there you go with the over mess.
Let's move on to the NFL. Are Dak and the Cowboys going to have some trouble with Baker and the Browns Sunday?
Yes.
We'll talk about that next.
No mercy.
You know what, Skip? The Cowboys' defense is the problem. It's been a problem. And I'm seeing something, and I think you're seeing it also, Skip. I want to know, because you say, why do the Cowboys keep getting off to these slow starts? And you blame Jason Garrett for all these years. You blame Jason Garrett, and yet they still get off to these slow starts. Are you still blaming Jason Garrett?
You got a cold?
Now they're a little chilly. I mean, they got the fan. Got a little fan going, my little fan going right here.
Jason Garrett has turned around the New York Football Giants.
They're bad.
They're on fire.
They need to do some more wind sprints.
Somebody needs to put the fire out.
They need to do some more wind sprints. Right. They ain't running enough for those mistakes they're making. The Cowboys' defense is a problem. And they're probably going to have to win the majority of their games, Skip, by shootouts. Unfortunately, they got to stop falling behind and sometimes play from the lead. Skip, you know Dak has only thrown 2 touchdown passes this season with the lead? 2. And he's put up some phenomenal numbers. But from the most part, it's been coming from behind.
When have they been in the lead? I can't even believe that. I didn't even know that. I was like, when did that happen?
I think for a few. Well, at the end of the game against Atlanta, and I think they had to lead briefly. They had to lead briefly against Seattle also. And then, Russ came in and worked his magic on them. I like this, and I know Baker said, if it has to be a shootout, it'll be a shootout, yada, yada, yada. But if I'm Cleveland, I'm trying to do everything I possibly can to not make it a shootout. This game needs to come through Chubb. Chubby needs to be the sole beneficiary. He needs 30 carries. Now, Kareem Hunt was a little dinged with an injury. I don't know the extent of did he practice or not, or what's going to be his status for Sunday. But this needs to be a Nick Chubb, a Kareem Hunt type of a ball game. And then because Dallas is explosive offensively, I'm not denying that. And a team that's explosive offensively, you see what they try to do, Skip. Let's try to possess the football. Let's try to minimize their opportunities because it's hard to be explosive when you only got the ball for 25, 26 minutes in the game.
Yep.
So the Browns are going to need to run the football, control the clock, possess the football, and hopefully get a timely possession.
Yep.
So with that, Cleveland has the number 5 rush defense, number 6 in yards per carry. So Skip, I love Cleveland chances. Plus the fact that you gave me 6 points. Tyron Smith, limited participation. That's going to be very interesting, Skip. The Myles Garrett against Knight, the left tackle. He kind of looked bad, especially that last drive, because that was a 3-man rush. And they got, I think, a sack, 2 sacks, and maybe a hit on Dak. That's unacceptable. Myles Garrett is licking his chops. I'm going to take the Browns to win this game 29-26.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then I shouldn't give you any points.
Oh, you're too late, though.
Well, you just picked Cleveland outright to win the game. So I think the points are off the table.
Dude.
You don't have the courage of your convictions?
I like having these numbers. I like having these numbers to play with. Skip, you know how it is. You're like, okay, you got a few numbers. You go buy a house. Or you and Steve came by here. You gave the realtor, say, okay. And she's like, well, we found this guy, so we got a few dollars to move here or there. So yeah, that's what I do. I got a few dollars to play with.
You got a few.
I got 6 points to play with.
By the way, Fox Bet says it's 5.5 right now. So I'll give you 5.5.
You gave me 6.
Oh.
You gave me 6.
Oh, so you're gonna welch on it.
Hold on. What the Skip Bet says?
Skip Bet says it's a 5.5-point game.
Too late.
Okay. I stand by what I told you earlier this week.
Okay.
I believe with all my heart and soul, my Cowboys will win this game and win it decisively.
Oh, really?
And I also believe with all my heart and soul, they had better win this game or I'm off the bandwagon.
Oh, no. I ain't let you off.
I explained to you that obviously they can back into the division title with ease this year, even easier than last year because Carson Wentz has turned into W-I-N-C-E, ouch, as in close to losing his job. They play at San Francisco. They're 7-point underdog. I don't believe they can win that game. I could be surprised, but I don't believe they will win it.
Okay.
The Giants are a hopeless, hapless underdog. And Washington, the Washington football team plays Baltimore coming off a loss, and that they are going to want some. There's going to be blood in their eyes. Okay? So my point is that I'm pretty sure all 3 other, NFC least, are going to lose.
Okay.
So the Cowboys will have cushion. There'll be no urgency except for me. Because if they are legit, if they are going to slowly morph into an actual NFC contender.
What you believe they are.
Yes, which I thought they were going into this season, then it needs to start now. Because if they lose at home to the Cleveland Browns, it's just devastating. It will wreck what's left of their psyche because they should have lost to Atlanta. Robbie, it took a minor miracle. Right?
Yes.
And that would mean they should be 0-4. You could make that case if they lose to the Browns.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to make that case because I'm going to hang on to what happened last year 3 times at home when I least expected it because they hadn't demonstrated this kind of firepower to me otherwise. But do you remember what happened when Philly visited the first time on that Sunday night, I believe it was?
Yes.
It was 27-7 at halftime.
Yeah.
Dallas.
Yes.
It wound up 37-10 Dallas. They jumped right out to a 14-0 lead, and I sat back and said, voila, there it is. Mm-hmm. That's the team that I believe in, right?
Yeah.
And then you know what started to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Then when you least expected it, fairly late in the year, heading up to the Philly game, after they'd stunk it up at New England, they come home to play a Rams team that had just owned them, they had won there and beaten them in the playoffs out here in Southern California and LA at the Coliseum. And what happened in that game? It was 28-7 Dallas at half. I know the Rams were starting to reel a little bit and a couple of wheels were about to come off, but Dallas won that game 44-21, and I saw firepower. I saw nuclear weapons.
That was you saw, huh? Okay.
And then to cap the year, Washington came to Dallas, and I know they were pretty pathetic, but Dallas just jumped all over them, opened up a 20-3 lead, and Dak threw a party, and it wound up 47-16. And I said, well, there it was. That's what it should have been all year long, and instead that made them 8-8.
Okay.
They're heading toward 8-8 again, unless they go north from this game. This is the key game. This is north or south. This is do or die to me. And it's not for, again, they could win the NFC least by default.
Yeah.
They could be a counterfeit, fraudulent playoff team that will lose at home in the first game to some New Orleans who'll come in and just blow them off their own field. I don't want to see that. That hurts me. I'd rather them miss the playoffs than have to watch them get humiliated at home as the quote-unquote division champs of a division that doesn't deserve to have a playoff team.
You said something very interesting. You said last year that when they played that Sunday night game against the Rams and they won 37-10, and they were just
the Eagles.
The Eagles, excuse me, Eagles 37-10, and then they beat the Rams 44-21. You said you saw firepower. Did you see that same firepower against Buffalo?
Nope.
What about the Saints?
Well, you know what I feel about all those games. They're inexplicably awful to me. Or at Tom Brady. What happened? It was 13-9. How about at Carson Wentz? It was 17-9.
You know what? But here's the thing. If it was reversed, you would be at Jason Garrett's throat. You haven't blamed Mike McCarthy that one time for this.
I have too.
Not these slow starts.
Well, not for slow starts.
You blamed him for going possibly. Atlanta let him off the hook, because we were both going to come out here and just massacre him.
I was poised.
Yes. So Atlanta let him off the hook. But for 3 weeks in a row, Skip, they've gotten off to slow starts. Starts that you said Jason Garrett didn't have his team ready to play.
Okay.
Is Mike McCarthy not having his team ready to play?
Apparently not yet.
Oh.
Okay? This is a home game, and you better be ready to go, because what did Atlanta do in that game? What was it, 29-10
29-10 at the half. It's 20-0 at one point.
20-0 on the way to 29-10.
Yeah.
Inexcusable.
Yeah.
It's wrong. It's a really bad early sign from Mike McCarthy. So I am with you on this. And you know what puts lipstick on the pig, so to speak? They're still #1 in the whole NFL in passing yards, and they're #1 in total offense. Wow, interesting. They're only 8th in points scored. How do you put that together?
Right.
Okay, that doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
But this team, what did Dak say 2 days ago? Most explosive offense I've ever played on.
Right.
Well, it seems like Dak says that every year.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And then what happens? And then they go 8-8.
It doesn't mean anything, Dak, if you go an 8-8, if you're missing the playoffs or you get one round. That explosive offense. And this, I've always judged offense and defense like this, Skip. Can you get done what you need to get done when you need to? That offense so explosive, but when you needed to make a play at the end of the game, you didn't get it done. That offense so explosive, when you needed to make a play against the Rams at the end of the game, you didn't get it done.
Well, you got robbed, but
you didn't get robbed. No, you didn't. Stop that.
You know, my quarterback, he made one great throw in that game, and it was to Michael Gallup for a touchdown.
Skip, push off.
Or it wasn't a touchdown. It would have set up a field goal to
push
tie.
off. Push off.
No, it was not a push off.
Hold on.
We're talking about ticky-tack.
Yeah, no, because karma, it just came back against the Rams. They got a pass interference call. They end up keeping the drive alive on 4th down.
Yep.
They end up losing the game. So these things are balanced out.
So back to my defense. It gave up 4 breakdown plays to Russell Wilson. I'm talking about where they just completely busted the coverage. And you say, is anybody coaching the defense? Do they have any concept of what they're doing? This is Russell Wilson. This is Tyler Lockett, the most...
DK Metcalf.
Yeah, and DK tweeted yesterday, Tyler Lockett is the best receiver in football. Well, you can make a case for that.
No, you can't make that case.
Well, yes, you can, because he is so dangerous.
Skip, I love Tyler Lockett.
He gets loose like nobody.
Skip, but ain't nobody taking Tyler Lockett over Michael Thomas and D-Hop.
I got it.
Julio.
He is extremely dangerous.
Yes.
And on the first touchdown, nobody covered him.
Right.
Okay, how can you defend that? I can't. Mike Nolan?
I don't believe anybody finished or covered him on the 3rd touchdown because he was wide open in the back of the end zone.
So Mike Nolan has been all over this league.
He has. I know Mike 30 years.
Okay, and I knew his father for a long time before him, and his father was a really good football coach. But Mike's been up and down as a defensive coordinator, and he got another job for America's team, and I'm not seeing any results yet.
Well, they need to get some America's players.
Okay.
Because right now, Skip, there's a lot of guys that's underperforming on your defense.
Okay. But there's one guy who's been a revelation, and I'm going to say him again because he's not getting enough credit for what's happening. Aldon Smith has turned back into a monster.
He has, Skip.
He had 5 what they call splash plays against Russell Wilson.
Yes.
And listen, where he just did something where you say, what just happened?
Right.
A couple times he beat double blocks and annihilated.
Well, he's been, no question, the best player on the defense. It's not even close.
Okay. And Trevon Diggs has 6 splash plays. I know he gave up the bomb to there's a double move that DK put on him, and he got smoked, but then he didn't quit on the play, and he saved the play.
Yes.
And Everson Griffin has 5.5 splash plays. Those are 3 new players on my defense who are starting to come alive right before your very eyes. Those are my hopes. They give me some hope that they could at least slow down Nick Chubb. And by the way, I fear Nick Chubb. Like, there are a few players where I say, it'll be okay.
He's solid.
But this guy
every week.
Hey,
Skip, he's not going, juke you and have all that.
Hey, he's top 5.
Yes.
And you can argue he's top 2 or 3.
Every week.
Remember, the first time I saw Nick Chubb, not that I didn't see him at Georgia because he killed my Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, you saw it.
But in Hard Knocks, remember?
Him and Sonny Michel. Sonny Michel was also doing a number on your guys.
I got it. But at the airport, remember early in Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
He's waiting on his bags, and some guy says, strikes up a conversation and say, he says, what do you do? Oh, I play football. Oh, you do? Yeah, I play for the Browns.
They forgot to send somebody to pick him up.
They forgot to say, okay, that's the guy who's turned into a top 2 or 3 running back.
Yes.
And who could run wild on my Cowboys. And if that happens, you will win the bet. I believe they can at least keep him from running them off the field.
So what's your score?
I got 35-21 Dallas by 14 points. I believe in them. So I'm happy to give you the 6. I said it. And we should make it 5.5
No,
because
that's
what
what
Fox Bet says. But anyway.
Can I do another case that y'all don't win by 14?
No, but I'll double. Do we do 1 case on this?
Yeah.
I'll go 2 cases at 6 points. 2 cases. You said you want to up the bet. Let's do it right now.
2 cases?
2 cases for you get 6 points.
Okay.
Okay, done. Thank you very much. Next question.
I saw you coming. I saw you coming. You do it every time I see you coming. That's how I see you coming. I know I said, Skip, I'm going to get Skip. Pretend like I don't want to bet. And he'll like, come on. He'll start needling me, but I really want to bet all along. Got him.
Here we go. Dallas
The Browns
Cowboys.
versus Cowboys game is one of our Super 6 matchups this week, so make sure you get your picks in Sunday before kickoff for your chance at Terry Bradshaw's $100,000. And for top stories, scores, and more, go to the Fox Sports app. But now, let's move back to the NBA, because despite the Lakers having their way with the Heat in Game 1, Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler felt confident that Miami can still compete in this series. The Heat will have an uphill battle, though, against LeBron, who's searching for his 4th ring and looking to go up 2 games to none tonight. So, Shannon, what is the score in tonight's game?
Well, I expected the Lakers to play a lot better than they did in Game 1, especially to start the game, Skip. And I think the biggest mistake that you can make is underestimating someone. If I'm Frank Vogel, I'm getting my troops ready as if Bam and Goran Dragic is going to play. And if they don't play, I'll make an adjustments accordingly.
Okay. But by the way, they're both listed as doubtful,
right.
But they were not ruled out.
Correct.
Okay, so they might try to play.
The biggest mistake a person can make, or in anything, Skip, it's like if you're in the military, I'm a history guy, Skip, but anytime you go to war, you do anything, they give what they call a risk analysis. What are the risks of this, what we're about to do? And they do the CDA, a collateral damage assessment. Okay, what's the risk analysis here? If you underestimate these guys, and you're like, well, they're not playing, and then all of a sudden they show up. Because I believe, Skip, that was probably, 72, 73, when they thought Willis ain't playing, he got a torn leg muscle, he not playing. And Willis came out there and just seemed like that just deflated the Lakers. He didn't really do it, but he had 2 points.
And it inspired the Knicks.
It inspired the Knicks. So if
he didn't last long.
he didn't.
Right.
I'm a firm believer, Skip, if you respect everyone, you underestimate no one. If you're the better team, you shouldn't have a problem. The Lakers are the better team. But the one mistake they can make is underestimate this team or anticipate that Bam and Dragic isn't going to play. And I don't believe they'll make that mistake. I believe they'll come out there. They know they're 3 games away from their ultimate goal. And they will put a stranglehold because I believe that if the Lakers go up 2-0, the Heat's capable of winning 4 of the next 5 games. You don't believe that? I don't believe that. So treat this as a do or die. Like LeBron said, why is he so successful in closeout games? He says, because I'm as desperate as my opponent is. I feel I have just as much to lose as they do. While I'm trying to close you out, they're trying to keep it alive. They're trying to gain momentum. I think the Lakers win big tonight, Skip. I'm gonna go 114-93.
Really?
114-93. Now, they will play hard, but, Skip, if there's no Bam, I don't know how they keep AD. How did they slow? Skip, they couldn't slow down for the 21 minutes he was in there. He couldn't do anything with AD. How did they keep Dwight Howard off the board? Olynyk is a big body, but, Skip, he's a spot-up guy. He can't keep Dwight Howard. He can't guard AD. Keep Dwight off the glass and guard AD. LeBron. At least LeBron like, damn, that is Bam. Bam will try and challenge me at the rim. He see Olynyk in them down there, Skip. LeBron is going to be like the 405 during the pandemic. It's about to be wide open because he's coming down going 300 miles an hour. So I think the Lakers win big. I know that LeBron is telling the guys, Skip, when we talked about it yesterday, the job is not done. And you hear everybody keep saying, job is not done. Job is not done. Yeah, we won. We're up 1-0. But it's the first to 4, not the first to 1.
Yep. Okay. I hear everything you just said. I'm going to have a hard time disputing anything you said. I did spend all last night racking my brain trying to think of a way the Heat can steal this game and make this a somewhat interesting series. And I thought, NBA basketball does often come down to a three-point shooting contest. Your Lakers, who were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the bubble, 21st out of 22.
Correct.
33.6%, made 11 threes basically in the first quarter and a half of that game. And not only did they make 11, 8 players made one or more threes.
Yeah.
What? 8? And I thought KCP saved your bacon because when it looked like all was lost early, he made back-to-backers in 28 seconds, 2 just sonic boomers.
And he made a 2-point shot, Skip, as the shot clock expired.
He did. So that helped, but it wasn't like it was the KCP Memorial game. It just, that was his little contribution that was huge. And then Danny Green made 3 threes, and then LeBron made another 3. And everybody's making threes. Caruso is making threes. AD is making threes. It's just too good. So I'm thinking, what if they come out and have one of those nights that we occasionally saw them have during the regular season when they go 5 for 30 or whatever it is, right?
Yes.
Would that level the playing field?
Yeah, absolutely.
It might, except the other team is going to have to make 15 threes. Right?
They need to be in that 17. If you're going to shoot like the Rockets, if you're going to make 20 out of 53, Skip, well, now it's a different ball game. You make 17 out of 38 threes, it's an entirely different ball game. So in order for the Lakers, because if we saw what what Portland did is that when the Lakers struggled, Portland was very good from the three-point line. When against the Rockets, we saw what they did. So if they struggle from the 3 and you struggle from the 3, you're not beating them because they got ways to get down inside. You're not going to win the rebounding battle. You're not going to win points in the paint battle.
Okay. So if Goran Dragic tries to play, reportedly he has a torn plantar across the bottom of his foot. You know and I know that is burning pain.
Yes.
It's almost like I can't even touch my toe.
That's stepping on hot, cold pain.
Yes, correct. So help me out here. You can inject that.
Yes.
How long do you think he might last? It's just too hard.
Right.
He survives on what quickness he has at age 34 because he can get by you to the basket.
He's crafty. He's
very crafty. But he needs to have a little bit of acceleration, right?
Yes.
Man, I don't know. He's their leading scorer in the playoffs. Okay? He was not their leading scorer in the regular season because he wasn't even a starter.
Right.
Kendrick Nunn was the starter. He made first-team all-rookie undrafted. Okay, so he goes potentially back in the starting lineup tonight. And as we know, he was the lone bright, if I can even say there was a bright spot. He scored 18 in the second half, 14 in the fourth quarter. He averaged 15 during the regular season as a starter in 67 games. Can he give you 20 tonight? I don't know. Does he just have sort of the feel right now for the Lakers? You better get 20 from him.
And plus the thing, Skip, I think the thing is that, as you mentioned, because Nunn hadn't really played a whole lot, he was not heavily involved in the game plan for the Lakers from a Lakers standpoint of people we need to worry about. Now that the Dragic was injured and they saw now they're going to pay closer attention to him and what he's capable of. Because like you said, Skip, he was first-team all-rookie. So no matter what, as an undrafted player, so that just goes to show you that he can score now.
And he had several blow-bys.
He gets blow-by, not only blow-by and layup, blow-by and dunk.
He did. Okay, Kelly Olynyk has been around for a while. He's crafty, he's nasty, he's 6'11", 240. He can play a little gray area, cheap shotty basketball.
He sure is, because you remember what he did to Kevin Love.
I jerked his arm just about right out of the socket.
And Jay Crowder tried that too. Skip, and you know what I noticed? Jay Crowder made more threes in game 1 than he made in half a year with LeBron in Cleveland. You remember that? Remember he was in Cleveland? He couldn't throw it in the ocean. In the ocean, sitting on a cruise line.
By the way, early in that game, he stood up to LeBron. It looked like he wanted a piece of it.
Yeah, he ain't want none. He ain't want no smoke.
I don't know.
LeBron said,
and AD was getting up there like he was going to enforce.
No, LeBron says, look, LeBron understands. The Heat miss Jay Crowder or the Lakers missing LeBron James. That ain't no even trade-off for us, Skip. We don't like that trade-off. Okay.
So my point is, could Kelly Olynyk cause a little more problem in the lane? I don't know. Maybe for a little while. Maybe.
He's more of a threat from the three-point line than Bam.
I got it. But I'm just talking about somebody who can stand in there and at least get in the way a little bit. Okay, do I think they're going to give up the Miami Heat a 77-32 run in the middle of this game like they did in Game 1? 77-32? No. But in the end, did they get exposed in Game 1? Yes, they did. I said going into Game 1, this is an epic mismatch on paper and on the floor. Bam, not big enough. He's smaller than LeBron, the point guard for the Lakers. I'm sorry, you're not good enough, because if they were defensive demons, if they hung their hat on the defensive end,
that's not what
they don't play defense.
No.
It was painful to watch how bad their defense was. Well, how much better could it be without Bam?
Right.
I don't know. Can he survive the whole game? At least it's a shoulder he can run.
And Skip, the thing is, like you said, I mean, they have a bunch of specialists.
Yep.
Jay Crowder's a specialist. Duncan Robinson is a specialist. And the thing is that in order for them to have value, they need to be making shots, because Duncan Robinson is not stopping anybody.
No, he's too easy to stop. If you know in your game plan, just don't let him catch and set.
Right.
You just got to stay with him, stay up in him.
Right.
Just don't let him get an inch, because if you give him an inch, he'll get it off.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he is deadly, obviously, but he didn't get any shots the other night.
Give him no room.
And if he forces them, he'll miss them.
Yes.
Okay. So in the end, this team goes as Tyler Hero goes. I don't care what you say. If you watch closely the Celtics series, when he went off, they survived and advanced, right? So he would have to score 30 to 40 tonight, and I just don't know if what is he, 20-year-old? I just don't know if a 20-year-old.
I mean, he don't want to get up early because he don't want Bron. Because that's a stopper. Hey, Jamal Murray, we don't want. Hey, he don't want to. Skip, he don't want that. He don't want to go to solitary.
What's Hero say? I'm a bucket. Okay, he better be. I'm a buckets plural tonight, because he better have a lot of buckets.
Got him locked up.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what you want. Okay, get a couple of buckets early, Hero. LeBron, hey.
Okay, so I think on sheer pride, they'll hang in for a while, and then I think the Lakers will win by 20. Not as bad as you say. I got it 120 to 100 Lakers, and it's over, and the Heat will say, we vote to leave the bubble. We're sick of the bubble, and they'll call off the finals.
We got the same. I think I got by 21. I said 114. What did I say, 114.93? So I got 20. I think I got 21.
So you're right.
You got 20.
It sounded worse the way you had it.
What was your score?
120 to 100. We're close enough.
Yes.
Okay. So it's over.
No, don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Next.
No mercy. LeBron may have just taken his own shot at Kyrie. While talking about his relationship with Anthony Davis, LeBron said they work together so well because, quote, we're not jealous of one another. A lot of people read between the lines on that due to the fact that Kyrie once requested a trade out of Cleveland because he reportedly wanted to be more of the focal point on the team. So, Shannon, do you consider this a shot to Kyrie?
Yes, true, too. Everybody knows it. There's no secret about that. Kyrie felt that after making that shot, that he was on the level of LeBron. And he deserved the perks and the benefits that LeBron got while he was in the Cavaliers organization. Kyrie felt he should get those same privileges and same benefits. And when they weren't afforded it to him, he became resentful of LeBron. I don't really know how else to say it, Skip. And winning tandems can't be jealous of each other. There's a reason why Kareem and Magic were able to get 5 titles together, Skip, because although Kareem was established and here's this new kid on the block, hey, Magic still to this day refers to Kareem as captain. He doesn't call him Kareem, he calls him Cap.
Cap.
That's what he called. Scotty, but see, the difference between Scotty and Mike, Scotty never believed that he was on Mike's level. So it's easier, Skip,
maybe near the end he started to
yes,
that, but go ahead.
But in the beginning, as long as I feel like he's better than me, Skip, he's just better than me.
Yep.
It's you can do that. But once you think, Skip, there's something that caused Shaq and Kobe to go awry. Yeah. It's as simple as that. There's something that even after 20 years, that Coach Belichick and Tom Brady says, you know what, enough is enough. You go your way, I'm going mine. Something happened. Skip, what happened here is that Kyrie wanted what LeBron had. And he felt he was an equal player. Now, Skip, if you notice now, when KD and Kyrie became close, where did it transpire at the Olympics? What had just happened? Kyrie had hit the shot in the finals. He's a champion. KD had just lost a 3-1 lead. So now, at that point in time, Kyrie thinks he's on KD's level as a player. So he's talking to him like, bro, you know, we here, you know, we yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
We on LeBron level. No, bro. Skip, you can be a great player, but there's levels to greatness. And LeBron is a step above. LeBron is there's a room that only a handful of guys have a key to. LeBron has that key. Kyrie does not. LeBron made it abundantly clear. I was well aware of Kyrie's comments when I made my comments.
He did. I wasn't sure of that, but I'm glad you brought that up. That Dave McMenamin wrote on ESPN that LeBron was definitely aware, because I wasn't sure he was. So to your first point, definitely a shot back over the bow of Kyrie. We're not jealous of each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so neither mentioned the other's name in their blast that they took, but they didn't need to because everybody knows what's up.
I like how LeBron did it, Skip, because LeBron already knew what he wanted to say. LeBron paused with it, and like he had to think. He's like, let me think. Why are me and AD having success? You already know what we having success. Jealousy.
We're not jealous of each other.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to give you my perspective on this. They are not, in large part because Anthony came from New Orleans with nothing to show for it. It wasn't like he had won anything in New Orleans. Remember, his regular season record in New Orleans was 216 and 250. So he was Giannis-like to me in that he was a PER prince, that player efficiency rating.
Yes.
He would be near the top or at the top every year with nothing to show for it in the playoffs to speak of. He had a couple of moments here and there. All we knew was he was wildly gifted. He was a two-guard in a, what do we call him, 6'10"? Or, yeah. He's a two-guard in a 6'10" body.
Right.
Because he's got all kinds of guard skills, three-point shooting skills, handle skills.
Mid-range.
And he can go inside and do that stuff, too. He can play really big or really small.
Correct.
Okay, well, that's supremely talented, where you've got it all going on, except Charles Barkley keeps pointing out, does he have that dog in him? Does he have that killer mentality? Charles says no. Well, I believe LeBron, in his heart of hearts, saw that there's not that killer mentality. LeBron has done a phenomenal leadership job of making AD his pet project, becoming a big brother to him, but also becoming a close friend of his, where they hang together.
Right.
Any practice ends with them leaving together. They arrive together often.
They pretty much walk out. If one's doing an interview, Skip, they wait in the tunnel, and then they walk up the tunnel together.
That's a great job by LeBron James.
Yes.
But clearly, to me, he's the alpha in the relationship. Because Anthony, this is all new to him. He's just happy to be a Laker in Los Angeles. Oh, wait, I'm in the finals. This is great to me.
Skip, but you talk about Kyrie. You do realize Kyrie, before LeBron, was known for lotteries.
Okay, I got it. Kyrie Irving thinks he's the best.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure AD thought he was the best coming in. It's like he's sort of tiptoeing into the situation. Oh, this is great. LeBron propped him up, reinforced him, and made him believe that I think AD now thinks I'm actually better than LeBron. I can do things even LeBron can't do, which is great for this relationship.
He needs to think like that.
They've been very fortunate so far because there has been no trial or tribulation. They have faced no real edge-of-the-cliff adversity that LeBron has faced often in various playoff scenarios. When you're Game 6 at Boston in 2012, you're down 3-2 at Boston.
Right.
That's edge of the cliff. You got to show some true colors there. And that night, 45 and 15, LeBron did.
Right.
Okay, so my point is, this new relationship, and it's still pretty new, show me where it's faced real adversity in the playoff run, because I think this has been LeBron's easiest path to the finals.
Well, I think the thing also, Skip, is that when you look at it, is that, they had a little adversity. I think they lost like 3 straight games in the regular season, but there's nothing like the playoffs, as you mentioned, being down 2-1, being down 3-2 or something like that, where it's do or die. But I think the thing is that when AD missed that shot against the Nets, and you could tell AD was down because he probably was like, man, I ain't going to get a better look at a shot. And LeBron says, I'm not even worried about it, because if that same situation were to arise, I'm going to pass him the ball again. Now, they went back and practiced that very shot the next day. They showed the footage. AD nailed it. And lo and behold, what happened come playoff time? Almost to the very spot that he missed it in a bigger moment. I think that's when because Skip, sometimes it takes moments for you to realize, you know what? what they've been saying is true. I am that dog. I am him. I am legit. And LeBron reinforces it. Skip, I thought I was a good player, but it wasn't until John Elway. Do you realize how special you are?
Sure, I got that.
Shannon, do you see how easily?
7th round draft.
Right. He said, and Skip, I'm just trying to play my part. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I'm doing my job. When he told me, he's like, the ease in which you run routes and you catch the ball and the way you can accelerate and decelerate. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm looking at him, man, John Elway just told me I'm special. Okay, I'm special. Skip, that's LeBron James. When LeBron James tells you you're special, what do you think that's done for Caruso? Because LeBron James tells Caruso, hey, I love his cerebral mind. I love the way he plays the game. But Skip, that ain't just some Joe Smo telling you that now. That's LeBron James. That's GOAT James telling you.
Okay, but I'm going to remind you, they haven't had that kind of adversity that can reveal flaws in the relationship. LeBron hasn't been pushed to the edge of the cliff where, and he's done this before, where he'll quietly tell the media, well, I did my part, but the kid didn't do his part.
Well, we know that game 3, when they tried to give it Kyrie down the stretch. You remember the one that got LeBron, that KD hit?
Yep.
Can you tell the people what Kyrie did down the stretch here in the clutch moments? 0 for 7 from the 3. That's what he was.
And who hit that shot in Game 7 that won LeBron his best ring?
Skip. So you don't want to talk about that little 6-0 run that we went on by ourselves, huh?
Okay.
And that 3-pointer that was in there. So you don't want to talk about that, Skip.
I have seen LeBron go sit away from his team in the break before overtime of Game 1 at Oakland in the 2017 NBA Finals after he turned down the last shot and passed the ball to George Hill.
And did you see what Kyrie did in Boston? When he alienated his entire teammates? Did you see what he did in Brooklyn when he said this guy and that guy? And now what he's talking about, we don't need a coach. It's going to be a collaborative difference. It's going to be KD coaching one day. It's going to be, really? KD said he didn't even want to skip. KD said he wanted no parts of leadership. How the hell you going to coach without being a leader? That's what a coach is first. Okay. He has to lead men.
Okay, but I warned AD before the year started, be careful, because a lot of players have found it's really hard to play with him because the media is quick to leap on that guy. It's your fault. It can't be LeBron's fault. What did Kevin Durant say? Fanboy media. Yeah. The fanboy media will say, AD didn't hold up his end of the bargain. And it almost started in game number 1. Remember, Anthony Davis goes scoreless in the fourth quarter against the Clippers.
And guess what, Skip? The reason why it's so hard to play with LeBron, the same reason it was hard to play with Magic, and the same reason it's hard to play with Jordan and Larry Bird, because regular season does not matter. They're defined by championships. They're defined by playoff runs. And if you don't play well, that's why Paul George did not want to go to the Lakers. He ain't fooling nobody, Skip.
I would buy
because that pressure was not going to be the same in OKC and the Clippers as there.
And their backs have been to the wall when during this playoff run? None.
Hey, Skip, okay? When you're great, your back don't get to the wall. You always in an advantageous. You don't have to back yourself into a corner.
When you dodged the bullet that was the Clippers, you got the ultimate.
I'm sorry you were a dud. I'm sorry you didn't fire, Skip. I don't know what it was. Maybe the wick was damaged. Maybe they didn't put enough dynamite, enough gunpowder in the dynamite. Whatever the case may be.
So Anthony Davis is like the proverbial kid in candy store. He is so happy right now. Did you see what he said yesterday? Why don't we just do this 9 more times, me and LeBron together? 9 more times?
No, he said, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And they even tried to say, look, AD, is there anything that LeBron's have that you're jealous of? Really? He said, nah, maybe the rings. I want one of that. But he kept his promise. He told me he gonna get me a ring. So far, he kept that promise to me.
So AD is saying, this is so easy. I just want to keep doing it for 9 more years.
AD,
I'm so happy.
I would love for that to happen also, but I don't believe GOAT James is gonna be able to give you 9 more years. I believe he can give you 3. And 2 for sure is still a top 5 player. I don't know about 5, 6.
It's very easy not to be jealous of each other when you're on the easiest path to a ring.
There you go, Skip. You see, that's not with Skip. I would agree with you. Had you said that at the beginning of the season, you said this was going to be LeBron James' most challenging time until your guys gagged. Your guys gagged. Now you want to talk about it's easy. If it was so easy, why aren't the Clippers here?
Well, they were looking. The whole year was based on we will beat the Lakers in the conference.
What you looking for?
Finals.
What you looking for? Why you worried about what I got in my house? What you worried about this? Oh, you signed it. Ooh, look at Marcus Barnes. We got Reggie Jackson. We got Landry Shamet. We got Joakim Noah.
Yep.
Oh, you just love it all today. Oh, just over the Kiki. Oh, the king. Oh, Pat Bev.
So were the odds makers.
Hold on, what Pat Bev say? Oh, it's over for y'all. Oh, it's over for y'all.
Yep.
I ain't heard Pat Bev. Oh, he told Steph Curry, it's our time. Last 5 years, now it's our time. I ain't heard Pat Bev say a word.
No mercy.
We are joined now by Fox Sports NFL analyst Michael Vick. Michael, what shot do you give Cam and the Patriots against the Chiefs this weekend?
But they got a shot. It's always a 50-50 chance that anything can happen, and the New England Patriots could be the first team to upset the Kansas City Chiefs this season. But a couple of things are going to have to happen. The defense is going to have to come to play, and unfortunately for the Pats, there's only one Stephon Gilmore on the field. The other corner, left or right side, opposite of Gilmore, is going to have to step up tremendously and try to somehow, some way lock down the trio of receivers that the Kansas City Chiefs has that pretty much ran right through the Baltimore Ravens last week. And the Baltimore Ravens had a great secondary. And I watched them go up and down the field with ease. And it was because of the speed that they possessed, the route combinations, and the play calling of Andy Reid that made that game so difficult. But in terms of the New England Patriots, ball control is going to be essential, whether it's Cam or running back by committee. They're going to have to control the clock, keep the Chiefs off the field as much as they can, and try to score as many points as they can. But I think the biggest key in this game is just winning the game time of possession, not letting Patrick Mahomes get out and be as dangerous and a threat as he's going to be, because you can't stop Patrick. You can only hope to contain him. Andy's going to let him loose. And, you know, as a team, you really got to find that rhythm early if you're the New England Patriots. And I think that's going to be in the run game. They have to control the clock. They have to control the time of possession and keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline next to Andy Reid.
It is not just about time of possession and ball control. You're going to have to get touchdowns. You can't control the ball for 5-6 minutes, Skip, Mike, and then kick a field goal, because the likelihood of you winning a game in their building 20-17, 17-14 is not likely to happen. They just put so much pressure on your offense. Now, if they're going to run the football like they ran it last week against the Raiders, and if they're going to capitalize at the end of those possessions and give you touchdowns, okay, they're going to have an outstanding chance. Because as you mentioned, the likelihood of them slowing that offense down isn't very good. And listen to Eric Bieniemy, Skip, when he threw that touchdown to the fullback, Sherman, Eric Bieniemy did not know he threw that underhand. He said, that's not the way we drew it up. That's not the way we practiced it. But that just goes to show you how much confidence this kid
he drew it up.
This shows you how much confidence this kid is playing with. He's on another level. He's feeling so confident that, you know what, I can do no wrong. He's yet to throw an interception in September with all those touchdowns. And so and Andy, for some reason, Skip, since he's been back in Kansas City, we remember that job he did on that Thursday night when the Patriots coming off that Super Bowl. That was the coming out party of Kareem Hunt when he rushed for 100 and almost caught for 100.
Yep, at Foxborough.
At Foxborough.
Yeah.
And so every time we see them putting up these big, ginormous numbers, even the game that they lost up in Foxborough, it was what, a 43-40 ball game? The AFC Championship game was like a what?
Shootout.
36-30 or something like that ball game where the Patriots scored in overtime. So even when he's had better defenders, when he had all those defenders, Andy's been able to move the ball against them. So now they don't have nearly the defense. It's going to be incumbent upon Cam to control this game, capitalize, and cap it off with touchdowns instead of field goals, or this thing could get out of hand in a hurry.
So it doesn't sound to me like either of you guys give the Patriots much of a chance. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, look, it's Coach Belichick, so he's always going to come and got something up his sleeve. But would I be surprised if Kansas City won by 7 to 10 points? No.
So you think they
and
can
I always feel like,
Go ahead, Mike.
I always feel like Bill Belichick is going to bring some type of recipe defensively that's going to keep them around. But it's going to be up to the offense to score points, like Shannon said. the defense will be able to sustain. But like I said, you can only contain Patrick for so long. You know, he's gonna get off.
Because remember, Skip, not to cut you off, Skip. Okay, last week he controlled Waller. Okay, you take Travis Kelce. What you gonna do with Reek and Mecole Hardman?
Okay, but trust me, Belichick will take away Kelce first.
Okay.
Because it's your security blanket. Just take it away.
Okay.
You can't have Travis Kelce and hope Gilmore can somehow hang with Tyreek, which he probably. It's just too much speed. It's track speed.
And then you got Hardman, who's 4.33 on the other side.
I got it. Okay. I'm in a tricky spot on this game. I will either qualify or disqualify myself. I'm rooting against Shannon Sharpe because we have a big bet that Tampa Bay will win more games than Belichick will win this year. So I need the Chiefs. I'll be honest with you. I will go ahead and pick the Patriots, but pick the Chiefs. But I think the Patriots have a real shot here. Okay. The harder I look at it, the better it gets for New England. I just like the way Cam is playing. He's playing some of his best all-around football of his career. It just feels right to me.
Right.
And I'm afraid of it because I've got that bet with you.
Right.
His offensive line is playing at an extremely high level. Pro Football Focus loves that offensive line. It's got it second in pass blocking and fourth in run blocking.
Right.
They lead the league in rushing. I know it's a small sample size, but they lead it at 178 yards a game. I believe they can go in there, as both of you guys suggest, and do what Parcells used to say, shorten the game. Just control the football. As Michael said, it's just, you got to win the clock. And they are highly capable of winning the clock because you have three real threats. You got Sony Michel, you got Rex Burkhead, who should not be underestimated in this game. He's played big against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game
winning touchdown.
Right? And you've got Cam. And not that I think Cam's going to run for 100, but if he gets 50 or 60 key yards, it's just hard. You can't get the man down.
He might have rushes like he had against Miami. He might run the ball 10 to 15 times.
He just might have to.
Yeah.
Okay? So then on the back end, can they stand up? Maybe strategically they can if they take Kelce away, because they took Darren Waller out of the game.
Yes.
Like I thought they'd handle him, but I didn't think they'd just nix him, you know, like just blank him out.
Yep.
But, okay, so the point is that I believe this is the perfect spot for New England to go there because they're coming off the game of the year on Monday Night Football, right?
Yep.
And they played great. They massacred their rival, you know, budding rival in Baltimore. And so here they are. They're going home for a New England team that doesn't have Tom Brady anymore, so it's hard to sort of get as up for them as you did for Tom Brady, right? Okay, so I'm not going to pick it because I'd be picking against myself, but I'm not going to be shocked if New England pulls this game off because all the ingredients are there for an upset to me.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that Andy Reid understands what Coach Belichick represents and what his teams know how they normally play. So they won't look past this team because who knows? This might be a team I have to see down the road, Skip. And if I see them down the road, I still want to plant that seed. Y'all know what we did to y'all. And who knows if they're going to let fans at some point back into the stadium. I think they're going to have probably another 15,000 fans at this point. But as the season progresses, who knows? That might get up to 70, 30. I mean, not 70, but maybe 30, 40,000. And 30,000 fans in Arrowhead, 40,000 fans, that could be a big difference. So I want you to come to my I understand, Skip. It's still not the same without fans, but I still want you to come to my building.
Yep.
If we play in the playoffs, come see me.
Okay, so I want to get Michael's input on this. Cam said a couple days ago, I'm such a different person now. I'm such a different person now. And it stopped me in my tracks like, really? Because I see the same Cam. I don't know about you, but I see fun-loving. He's letting his charisma and his charm just flow out of him, right?
Right.
Taking over practice, taking over the locker room, taking over the sideline. Yet, I think I know what he's talking about. And I hate this word humbled because if you say Cam got humbled, I think that hits you, it flips your switch because it comes across like the NFL's white establishment finally broke him, right? And I despise that insinuation also because that's not what's happening here. What did happen to Cam Newton was he had to face his football mortality. He got cut. He just sat on the market for 3 months because he was a little broken down. He had 3 surgeries? And I think a lot of people are saying,
2 shoulders in his foot.
Yeah. Are you done? Can you bounce back from this? So he keeps talking to New England about nothing's promised. I have to come in here early and stay late every day because I don't know if no day is promised here.
Right.
So he's acting like this is value to me. Like he took it for granted, obviously, in Carolina. He's the first pick in the draft and the MVP, right?
Yes.
So, Michael, give me some input on that. What are you seeing in Cam from a distance that speaks to I'm such a different person now?
Skip, let's not sugarcoat it, babe. You said it correctly, man. The word humble has some significant meaning with what Cam is going through right now, and it's humble in a good way. It's humble in a sustainable way, to where Cam can function for the next 8 years of his career, his long-lived career, and be happy about it. I have a different understanding and a true appreciation for where he's come from, and. Cam wasn't playing his best. Cam had injuries. And then, like you say, Cam was all of a sudden, cut by the Carolina Panthers. And it was some humble pie for Cam. So Cam had to, hit the reset button, step outside of himself, and look at himself from the external and say, what can I do better? What didn't I do right? Obviously the injuries, but that comes along with football. What about my play? What about myself? He's always been a fun-loving person. Every time I've ever been around Cam, I enjoy every second of it because he comes in and he gravitates to everyone and he absorbs the room. That's just how he is, the big 6'5" presence, and it's God-given. But at the same time, when you're talking about football and your profession is something that you love, you can be humble when it's taken away from you. I dealt with it in Philly, and it motivated me to come back and be the best and focus on every detail and try to be the best that I could be on any given situation down and distance, and most importantly, not disappoint my coaches. And that's what Cam is striving off of right now. I think he don't want to, disappoint Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, the people who are taking a chance on him, and show him that I'm the guy long term. It's not all about me. I'm team oriented, and we can make this happen. So it's great to see. And yes, Cam has been humble. And it comes in all different forms, and I think it just happened at the right time for him.
Well said.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to let the people down that believed in you. So no matter what, that was the only Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, Mr. Kraft, they were the only organization that believed Cam Newton could help their organization. So you don't want to do anything that's going to let them down. So you're going to come early to make sure you're prepared. You're going to stay late to make sure you're over-prepared and to put the best foot forward to say, you know what, there are a lot of other teams that could have used the Cam Newton, but you know what? Y'all bought into the hype that I'm a distraction, my antics, the way I dress. One team looked past that and looked at the player on the field, and they're reaping the rewards of that.
And the cool part is that they still allowing Cam to be Cam, and everybody's enjoying it.
Yes.
So it's meshing right now.
Yep.
No mercy.
Right after the Lakers went up 32 points and the Heat called a timeout, LA was all celebration with the game in hand. According to Chris Haynes, LeBron didn't like what he saw, yelling to his teammates to stop it and stay locked in because, quote, this bleep ain't over. Shannon, do you like what LeBron said?
Yeah, Skip, but it's so fresh in his memory because he remembered, he talked about it. He said in 2011, Dwayne Wade hit a three-point shot in front of the Mavericks bench, put us up 15, and we were celebrating because we thought it was up. We had already won game one, Skip, and they won it decisively. And it looked like they were about to win game two, take a stranglehold on this series. And lo and behold, what happened, Skip? The Mavericks go on a 22-5 run to end the game. And Dirk Nowitzki gets a left-handed shot with 3 seconds left, and they end up winning the game, get some momentum, even though the Heat won game 3. The Mavericks at that point said, you know what, we beat them. And no matter how far they get ahead, we could always chase them down. They felt they could chase them down. And LeBron still has that, and he says, it still ticks me off to this day. And so he's like, Skip, it's a fine line, because if they were in Staples, the bench wouldn't need to go crazy like that. The fans would be going crazy. They would give them the energy because, Skip, you remember early in the bubble, LeBron was saying we need our sideline to give us some juice, because it's like, it's solid. It's solid. You make a shot, Skip, you hear the squeaking of the shoes on the court. You hear the swishing of the net. Well, it's a fine line because the players are trying to give them the energy because even though they're starting to have family member and more personnel there, Skip, they can't cheer. I mean, Skip, you just got to sit there. Ooh, that was a good shot. Ooh, look at that block. Man, look at that dunk. And so it's nothing. So the bench is trying to get them going, but LeBron was like, hold on, bro. So I get what the bench is trying to do, but I also understand LeBron's point of view. He's like, and it's hard because they realize that they're close, they're 3 games away, and they don't want to mess this up. But don't worry about it, go. Yeah, hold on. Just tell them to hold on for them celebrations. We got something planned for y'all. Coming downtown, baby.
Monday.
No.
It'll be over tonight.
No.
Lakers in 2. Okay, help me out here.
Yes.
Do the Heat have a Dirk or a Jason Kidd?
No.
No, they do not. So I'm having a little bit of a hard time with this SH ain't over.
Yeah, it ain't over.
They were up 32 points.
Yeah.
They had just concluded a 77-32 run. And he's saying, this ain't over because I remember game 2 back in 2011.
Yeah.
I got to call baloney on this one. I'm sorry. It was way over.
No, it wasn't.
He knew it, and everybody knew it. And I also have to call baloney on this revisionist history about what happened in 2011, which was LeBron's first go-around in the finals with the Miami Heat.
Right.
What you said is true. Dwayne hit the 3. They kind of got a little too full of themselves.
He held a pose, too.
Yep. Which he does that. And usually he just backs it right up. Okay? It ain't bragging if you can do it, right? If you back it up. Okay, so they lost that game, but then they went to Dallas and they won game 3. So they are up 2-1. So it's not like that collapse wrecked them the rest of the way. They're in perfect position to close this thing out fairly quickly, up 2-1. And what happened was something that LeBron is trying to camouflage. It's like he's trying to take the onus off what really happened the rest of that series, which was he melted down. It was the greatest superstar collapse I have ever witnessed in a lengthy, in a longer series. On the biggest stage in the NBA, the chosen one became the frozen one. And I don't know how to sugarcoat this because in the last 3 games, he averaged 15 points a game. Well, this is a guy capable of averaging 30 a game, as you well know. And in the last 3 games, he went 2 of 12 from 3, which is 17%. He went 4 of 10 from the free throw line, which is obviously 40%. It was way below what he is capable of doing. And yet, on the biggest moment, he just couldn't handle it. He learned to handle it the next year when they broke through against the Thunder, but let's not revise history over what happened.
See, Skip,
he's trying to blame the whole series loss on game 2.
No, that's not what he said. He said he's blaming that game. He said, let's not get him. The game is not over. Skip, they were up by 32, but it was still like 6 minutes in the third, 6 or 7 minutes left in the third, and they still had an entire fourth quarter.
Well, by then, Bam's gone and Dragic is gone, and Jimmy Butler turned his ankle so bad I couldn't believe he wasn't going.
And they still, with all that on the court, they still cut it to like 15 to 13 to 15 points.
Oh, so that's why he played almost the whole fourth
Yeah, too. Killer instinct.
Had to.
Don't you want killer instinct?
Yeah, I want killer instinct on triple doubles.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
That's what we try. We try to get one. Gonna get one tonight though.
Trying to go get a triple double because it looked to me like it was the all-time front-running stat padding in the fourth quarter to play all the way to the 123 mark of a game in which you led by 32 points. Were you that afraid of Kendrick Nunn?
Yeah. Because Skip, they had a lapse.
Oh, okay.
I mean, did the game end up? Did they end up winning by 32? No. Do you? Let me ask you a question. If LeBron sits out, AD sits out, do you believe they win this game by 32, by 17? I think they won by 17. What do you think they win this game by?
I don't know. I like their bench. They got a lot of fire. Let JR and who else?
Jared Dudley.
Not Jared Dudley.
You know Quinn?
Yeah, I love Quinn Cook. As LeBron said before the year started, as good a catch and shoot three-point shooter as there is in the league. And every time he's in there, I'm like, he can really play.
And we're going to try to get all these guys some playing time so they can say, they played in the final. Quinn Cook's already played in the finals because he was at Golden State the last couple of years.
Yep.
So, but we're going to try to get these guys some playing time. It's probably going to be like game 3, game 4, but we're going to give them a little playing time. That's what we're trying to do.
So what are you doing? What if, I hate to even bring this up, I'm going to knock on wood before I even say this. What if the King had gotten hurt? In
basketball.
With 5 minutes
He
left.
playing basketball.
Playing basketball?
Yeah, playing basketball.
What if he'd been gone for the rest of the series?
People don't say that with Tom Brady be in the game. throwing passes, and nobody asks, well, what if Tom Brady got hurt? Coach Belichick said he's quarterback. We play in football. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt.
LeBron James is ending year 17. You should take the opportunity to just rest up a little bit.
We did. We had 5 months to rest. Remember?
Yeah, you got the greatest break of your career.
Hold on.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Guess who else got that rest? Kawhi, Giannis, James Harden, Russ. Everybody else got that same amount of rest. It's not like he got 5 months and everybody else got 5 days.
They're all kids compared to the king.
And he was playing good, too. See, that's when we really could have made that push because we had just bust Giannis' head. We had just did a number on Kawhi. So we was getting ready to make that push. And so we really could done some damage and got some votes in that MVP voting. But since they said once the season stopped at that point, the MVP voting was supposed to stop at that point, I think Giannis had built up a big enough lead. But we were coming, but don't worry about it. I told you, Giannis, you got that.
Doc said we were playing our best basketball when the pandemic hit. They needed reps. You needed rest. You got rest.
No, what y'all needed was to stop talking about how great you are when you hadn't won anything. You anointed them. You crowned them. You and Pat Bev. It's on y'all because he was already talking. It's our time. It's your time for what? Y'all hadn't won anything. So, no.
They would have won this year.
Why didn't they?
Yep.
All I know is we 3 games away. Y'all 300 days away. We 3 games away.
We got a new coach.
Who y'all coach is? Where he at?
Ty Lue.
Oh, I like Ty Lue.
He'll put us over the top next year.
Now you Ty Lue fan.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows how to do it. Ty Lue won one for LeBron.
Let me ask you a question, Skip. How y'all gonna make moves? You got no draft capital.
We don't need moves.
You got
Ty Lue.
All your guys are on expiring contracts. What you gonna do?
Nothing.
And like you said, they got a salary cap. So what you gonna do? How you gonna acquire some play? And I know Steve Ballmer don't care nothing about no cap. When you worth $70 billion, so what? You go into the penalty. But what you gonna trade?
They'll figure it out.
Stop.
When Jerry West is running things.
I want to know where's Kawhi's trainer. I wonder if he in the lab.
Yep.
He got plenty of time to get in the lab right now. My guy in the lab.
Yep.
My guy working on a cure right now for the championship blues. Because it's been a while since he had a championship, so he's working on a cure for that.
Your guy's in the wine cellar now. That's where he is.
No, my guy.
He's choosing his vintage.
My guy love that Cambridge.
Chateau something.
No, he love that Cambridge. He be on that Cambridge. That his stuff. He be ooh, and every once in a while he get a nice full body of silver oak. But for the most part, he saved that Rothschild for afterwards.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of the 5 horsemen gonna be on that Rothschild afterwards.
You got your Henny, he's got his Rothschild.
Not over till it's over. Words to live by as an athlete.
No mercy.
It didn't take long for Doc Rivers to get another job after parting ways with the Clippers. Doc has agreed to a 5-year deal with the 76ers and will now be tasked with getting Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons over the hump in the East. Doc's one NBA title, of course, came in the East with the Celtics. So, Shannon, can you see Doc winning the East with Embiid and Simmons?
I do. I cannot. The East is getting better. Giannis is going to get better. Who knows what the moves they're going to make. Heat are up and coming. Boston is young. They're going to get better. I just think Kemba was kind of nicked at the end of the year. That's why they started resting him down the stretch, Skip, and he never regained that in the bubble. But Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, they got the makings of a really good team. Nets now have KD and Kyrie, and they're probably going to have Karis LeVert. No, I don't. The question is, I think one of the reasons Doc was hired, Skip, is that they believe he can get through to Joel Embiid. Joel, you need to take it serious. You bull jiving. Who you kidding? You're not in shape. You make it up the court 2 times and you're tired. You're your last guy on the court. You're not training. You don't take your training serious. You don't take your nutrition serious. You don't take the game serious. You bull jiving. You're fooling yourself. It's hard for me to see how you can take the next level until Ben Simmons can shoot a jump shot. Skip, how can I say, man, ooh, he could be a great pitcher if he can just locate the ball? What kind of bull job is that, Skip? You're a basketball player. At some point in time, you're the point guard and you're not gonna shoot no jump shots. I just don't see it. I don't like this. I don't like the pairing, Skip. I really don't. But Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons needs to work on a shot and feel comfortable enough in the game to shoot it. Joel Embiid needs to take training, take nutrition serious. Take the game serious. And he can't be missing 20 games a year, Skip. He'll play 2 games and then he's out a week. He'll play 5 games and then he's out 4 games. That's unacceptable. So can I see them winning the East? No. To make a long story short, no.
Can I see them winning the East? Yes. I believe in Doc Rivers. I always have. I still believe in Joel Embiid much more than you do. I agree with everything you just said, but I have seen it come to pass where you can see what he is a nuclear weapon.
Yes.
When he is right, he is about as right as anybody in the game. He can go 40 and 20. He can make 3-point shots, which he takes too many, but he can make them.
Yes.
And he can make 80 to 85% of his free throws, which is extraordinary for a man that big.
Right.
You've got all of that operating if he ever gets somebody to push the right button for him to take it seriously on and off the court. And,
How?
Okay, I'm hoping that
Doc's
Doc
the
is
guy.
that guy.
Okay.
All right? If anybody can get through to him, I believe that a man with Doc's credentials, with his deep background, with his rings and his ring and his
Personable?
he is so personal. He can reach. And remember, he got the best year ever out of Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
He can go 20 a game for you.
Yes.
He can go like
Yes.
20 and 7
Yes.
for you. That's what he did for Doc's Clippers. So you look at this, and then the other button he has to push is in Ben Simmons.
Yes.
He's another one. I'm not sure if he really cares about this or not.
He's a walking triple-double.
Oh, is he?
And he's a tremendous defensive player. He's first-team all-defense.
First team all defense. And I'm guessing Doc is thinking we need a point guard and it could be Ben Simmons. Would he take that role? But he has to be able to make a if you dare him to shoot that shot, you got to make a few of them.
You're right.
Or you're going to become a
I
liability.
mean, Doc was a point guard.
He was a point guard. So my point is Al Horford is still there. Josh Richardson is still
Skip.
there. Okay, but they got
Al Horford,
okay.
why, Skip?
Okay, but Josh Richardson, Mike Scott, Shake Milton,
Yeah.
you know, they have pieces to puzzle that look like it almost worked. I mean, in 18-19, they went 51 and 31, and who made the luckiest shot in the history of the playoffs?
Yeah.
Kawhi
Skip,
made that shot, right?
But
that kept them.
You like the Sixers better when they had spacers. They had Bellinelli.
They did.
They had Ilyasova.
They were really good.
Now-
at those two. And then the Celtics blew them out in 5 games. Remember?
But now, Skip, you bring Al Horford and Ben Simmons. Where's the space? You got 2 guys that operate. You know, yeah, both guys can shoot threes, but Al Horford wants to play like a small. You're big, bro.
Yep. But the telltale sign to me was Doc going to leap at this opportunity? And he leapt.
Yes.
It happened in a day.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, is that Doc didn't want to rebuild. Doc is not for the rebuild. Remember, he left. He got up out of Boston because they were looking to rebuild.
Yep.
And I think he still looks at New Orleans as a rebuild because they're young. Yep. I mean, Zion's gonna be what, 21?
I agree.
Zoe is what, 23? Josh Hart is 25. Brandon Ingram's 24. Are they going to keep Holiday? Are they going to look to move Holiday? Somebody will give them something for Holiday, but it's going to be younger players. So you're going to be even more in a rebuild.
Okay, so obviously I picked the Clippers to win it all this year. In large part, I kept telling you because they got Doc and you got
Are you picking them to win it
Frankie
this
V.
year?
The Celtics or the Clippers?
No, the Clippers.
I mean, I'm seeing the.
Are you going to pick
Sixers.
them to win it that year?
If it's Ty Lue, I might.
I'm picking my team. I'm going to record right now.
Okay.
My team.
So, that's the point about what happened with Doc. I still love him as coach. I did not love what happened against the Nuggets. Something went really wrong. Just remember about the political chaos that was probably taking place behind the scenes.
Right.
You got, looking over one shoulder, the great Jerry West. Obviously, great player, and he was a head coach in this league, right? Looking over the other shoulder is Lawrence Frank, who has been a head coach in this league, correct?
Yep.
And to your right is Ty Lue, who's obviously won a ring as a head coach.
Right.
And overseeing the whole operation is a guy worth $70 billion who won't take no for an answer,
Right.
who wants results now.
Right.
And they did.
And that's normally what happens when you have that kind of capital, Skip. You get results now. Well, I want to be at this place. Okay, Mr. Barber, we have the jet. We're ready to go.
Okay, so I don't know what was happening, but it looked like Doc got miffed about something and just folded his arms basically and said, that's enough.
Let me tell you what he got miffed about. Here's the guy that y'all talk about as the best player in basketball, and he goes 1 for 11 in the second half. He gives me 0 points in the fourth quarter. And you talk about I got a second superstar who's been crashing and burning, like an asteroid. That's what I can't understand. So I'm going to fold my arm because y'all tell me these guys are what y'all say they are. They should be able to figure this thing out because that's what my guy can do.
Oh,
yeah. But you remember, Skip Bayless, you told me how it's going to be so much confusion. You got Frankie V on the sideline. You got Lionel Hollins, and you got Jason Kidd. You got guys that's been coaching going to be looking over Frankie V's shoulder. Oh, Frankie V to kick back. Like, hey, guys, let me tell you what we're going to do. And look at old Doc.
Because the heavens opened, and it broke perfectly for your Lakers.
Skip, you don't get breaks. We make breaks.
Easiest path to the finals ever. In the history of the finals, there's been no easier path.
Look, you know what luck is, Skip? Luck is what happens when...
Houston, Denver,
let me tell you what luck
Miami.
is. Let me tell you what luck is. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. If you're prepared, the opportunity presents itself. Okay, I'm prepared. Here's a bubble. We're going to get an opportunity chance to go compete for a title. Hold on. You guys got Dallas. Minus Porzingis. You should have lost in the first round. Had Porzingis not got thrown, if Kane Fitzgerald hadn't raised his ugly head in the first game and threw Porzingis out, you would have lost that game. If you had to rob it, so you should have lost in the first round and put you out your misery, so your hopes would have been dashed early on. But what happened to you is that your hopes got up because you really thought you were going to go somewhere. You're not going. There's no greater letdown, Skip. I know it used to happen to me all the time. I had an uncle with problems. He's going to take us to the store. We're going to go get ice cream. I'm going to come get y'all on Sunday. And you know what happened? He never showed up. Made nothing like a letdown. And you feel let down. And I love it.
Well, I'm rooting for Doc to go to the East and pull something off.
And on the least? Oh, you know my guy ran that.
Well,
ran everybody up out the East.
Remember, the best player in basketball now resides in the East. His name is Kevin Durant.
And guess what? And guess what he ran? He ran because he didn't want no smoke.
Really?
He didn't want no smoke with us in the West. We ran him up out the West. He had opportunity. Hold on, Skip. This is not Kevin Durant's first time becoming a free agent. So he could have easily came to the Knicks. He could have came to the Nets. He could have came. If he like that, if he want to go head-to-head with Bron, he didn't want to go head-to-head. He wanted to link up with two other guys that had already been established, that had already won, and wanted to draw on a 73-9 team. He ain't want no smoke, and then got you food over there. You see that? He hit the shot right between his eyes.
He has owned LeBron James twice in the finals.
Don't do that,
back to
Don't
back.
do that. Don't do that.
No mercy.
As the Twitter debate continued over how great LeBron is, last night Damian Lillard decided to chime in, responding to a tweet about how people disrespect LeBron and that he is a once-in-a-generation talent. Lillard responded with 4 words, bleep, really crazy though. So Shannon, do you like Dame's response?
I love it because Dame gets it. He's absolutely right. LeBron is not only a generational talent, he's a transcendent player. And those guys don't come along. Skip, look, you know, you can be a generational talent and not be a transcendent player. I think we're all in agreement. Skip, we can debate GOAT status all we want to, but I don't think there's anybody that's willing to debate that LeBron James is a transcendent player. We agree on that.
Sure.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I mean, you begrudgingly said it, Skip. Don't do that.
I mean, I got him in the top 10.
You made me sick.
What do I have, like 7th?
Whatever. Yep. Oh, wait, 4 championships and 4 finals MVP. You gonna have the man.
Wait, you went ahead and said it's a done deal.
I didn't say that.
You went ahead and gave him 4th.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
You just jinxed yourself.
We've never seen, Skip, and what Dame's saying, we've never seen a guy be this good for this length of time. He says players in the league knows how good, unless you're envious, unless you're jealous. Because I want to know the player, the current player. Name the current player in the league that says, you know what? I wouldn't trade my career for LeBron's. Name the current player that would say that right now, Skip. That would have 4 finals, 4 MVPs, 13 times when it's all said and done. Skip, everybody. And like Dame says, look, the player in the league knows how great he is. For the most part, a large portion of those, not everybody, not all, every should feel a certain way about something, but for the most part, they have a healthy level of respect for LeBron. And what Dame said at the end, he said, we didn't do that with Jordan. We just admired and appreciated his greatness. But every chance people get, they try to take their shots at LeBron. But don't worry about it.
You got this?
Keep standing, Bron.
4th is a done deal, says Shannon Sharpe. Okay, here's my take on this. I find it fascinating that Damian Lillard replied to a follower who basically said, look, I'm paraphrasing his tweet, but this is how I took it. He's saying, look, we know LeBron has some flaws, but why shouldn't we just ignore those and embrace his greatness? Because there's so much greatness to embrace.
Yeah, everybody has flaws.
Okay, I got it. Here's my problem with that. What is my job? What happens every day when I come in here and sit in this seat for 2.5 hours opposite you on Undisputed?
Yes.
My job tends to revolve around debates that you establish, that you ramrod, in which you say that LeBron James is greater than Michael Jordan, who I consider the greatest performer and competitor in the history of all sports.
Right.
I've never seen anything like the force of nature that was Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And yet you have the audacity. You would dare to come in here on a daily basis and say, LeBron's the GOAT, and you wear goat masks.
Yeah, I do.
So I'm forced into a position of having to defend the obvious GOAT by constantly referring to the obvious flaws in LeBron James.
But that's the problem. That's the problem that people want to push back, is because you say LeBron has flaws and Jordan does not. You're unwilling to relent that Jordan had flaws. If you would come out here and say, well, Jordan has some flaws, you make it seem like, and people make it seem like Jordan was flawless. And he was not. He is not. That's the only point.
Shannon, he was flawless.
No, stop it, Skip Bayless. Stop.
He was flawless. He
Stop
went
it.
6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs. Show me a flaw. Help me out.
So he won every game on the way to the finals. He won every championship. So he had flaws.
But he won all those championships.
Yes, Skip. Okay, he won 6. There's no denying. But he played 15 seasons. So what happened in those seasons? So there were flaws before the perfection, and then there was flaws at the end. Am I correct?
Flaws at the end of what? When he went to Washington?
Yes.
Okay, he quit because his coach got fired.
So let me ask you a question.
And he quit for 3 years in his late 30s, and at 38 and 39, he went to Washington and was just a ceremonial basketball player.
Let me ask you a question.
Still averaged 20 and 6.
Let me ask you a question. If he had won a title in Washington, would we say Jordan only has 6 titles or he has 7?
Well, obviously, nobody expected him to win any titles in Washington.
Why not? He the GOAT. Why not the GOAT?
Because he had retired for 3 years and came back near 40 years of age.
He retired for 1.5 years and came back and ran 3 more. So I'm just saying.
Okay, well, he's a much younger man.
If he the GOAT, no, Skip.
Hey.
If he the GOAT, you get no.
If he hadn't gotten pushed out for those 2 middle years,
I don't know what he
would
got.
have seen 8 straight championships.
I don't know what he got done.
You know it, and I know it.
No. All I'm asking you is that if he the GOAT, he's got to be overcome age. Overcome age. Okay.
What are you talking about?
Oh, so he's not the GOAT then? Because that's you
overcome age.
Hold on.
What are you talking about?
This is what you told me.
He was the GOAT times 10.
Hold on. No.
When they forced him out in Chicago.
No. When I say LeBron lost, you said LeBron should have beat the big 3 Celtics if he the GOAT, and he got to beat the big 4 Spurs, and he got to beat the big 4 Warriors. He the GOAT. So I'm asking you, if he the GOAT, Jordan should have beat the big 3 Celtics. He should have beat the bad boy Pistons.
He almost beat him by himself.
No, he didn't.
They wrote a whole book about him versus the Pistons called The Jordan Rules. Detroit had a whole set of rules to try to stop him.
It should have been, and somebody from Detroit should have wrote a book, The Bad Boys Rule Jordan, because that's what they did.
Until he finally went to the weight room and said, watch this.
Until they got old.
No, they weren't old.
Yeah, they were, Skip. Yes, they were.
They were all there.
No,
Skip. He said, watch this.
You know,
he swept the bad boy.
Here's the thing, Skip. This is what you know. Guys in the 90s did not take care of themselves like the guys do now. You know that, I know. They don't train like they do now. They don't eat like they do. They don't have full time around the clock. Because what Jordan did to try to get over the hump against the bad boy Pistons, guys do that now full time. Guys got guys like that in high school. So they're training at a very earlier age now. Yep. So this notion that you try to believe, I agree with Dame. Congratulations, Dame. Dame say, forget buying a car. He bought a car dealership. Got a whole dealership up there going on.
Congratulations. Way to go.
But he's absolutely
I got a little
correct.
bit of a problem with what he tweeted in answer, because he's co-signing what his follower is saying. And I thought he was competing against LeBron James. Isn't that the
Hold on,
point?
whoa. Hold on. You had no problem.
Is he his biggest admirer?
Tab out. I'm glad you said. I'm glad you walked.
I'm
through this.
glad I did say that.
Hold on. So was Larry Bird not competing against Michael Jordan when he called him God in sneakers?
Yeah.
When Magic Johnson not competing against Michael Jordan when he said he was the best player?
Yeah.
Are they not competing, or are they just admirers?
Larry Bird wanted to rip his heart out.
Okay, then Dame Lillard wanted to rip his heart out. Dame Lillard wanted the matchup. He said, "I want the Lakers."
Oh, did he?
Yes, he said it.
I think he wants to be LeBron's friend.
There you go. See, there you go. See, you see what you do, Skip?
Next, he'll sign with Clutch.
You see what you do? You see what you do?
Yep.
Anytime somebody praises or say something good about LeBron, oh, they want to be him. If they say something good about Michael Jordan, it's the truth. You see what you did? All these people, what did Mike Malone say? What did David Blatt say? What did this one say? When they say something about LeBron, about Jordan, it's the gospel. When they say something good about LeBron, they just admire it.
LeBron James has lost 6 finals. That's incomprehensibly wrong. Michael won 6 and went 0. 6-0 versus 3-6.
So why I'm trying to figure out why did he only get to 6 if he the GOAT? So he was only the GOAT for those 6 years. So the years before and the years after, he wasn't GOAT.
Then he took 3 years off and he let himself go and he smoked too many cigars and played too much golf.
How is that LeBron's fault that we've maintained this level of excellence for 18 years, for 17 years? 18, let me go and put it out there. 18,
And
I'm manifesting it.
You get to run over the Miami Heat. Way to go.
Skip, really?
Eat them up.
I mean, y'all come on, Skip. Y'all was beating Charlotte. Y'all was beating Charlotte Hornets.
Don't goats eat tin cans?
Skip.
He's eating a tin can.
Skip, you do realize that Michael Jordan was posted up Muggsy Bogues.
That we get to
Michael Jordan was posted up Muggsy Bogues.
Can we just appreciate that he's a great player and just
It's Spud Webb.
It's just fun
Michael
to watch.
Jordan was
It's
posted up
special.
Spud Webb and Muggsy Bogues.
No mercy.
Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving pulled the curtain back on the Nets' coaching strategy. Kyrie said, quote, "I don't really see us having a head coach." Durant agreed and said it would be more of a collaborative effort between the two all-stars, newly hired head coach Steve Nash and assistant coach Jacques Vaughn. So, Shannon, how big of a problem do you have with this?
Good luck, Steve Nash. Skip Bayless, I sure hope he got a aspirin commercial. I'll take Advil gel caps. Steve Nash, you need to get you one. You might need some migraine medicine because they're about to give you one. Skip, who says this? I mean, the guy's been hired, what, 2 weeks? Steve Nash has been on the job 2 weeks, and they already said, we don't need no head coach. It's going to be a collab. Skip, collaborate for what? Oh, my goodness. You see? This is what happens when you're a great player and you think you're a leader. This is it on the full display. These two guys, Skip, are not leaders. They're great players, and they automatically think they should be leaders because they're great. Kevin Durant told you he didn't want to lead. Kevin Durant says, all I want to do, I just want to hoop. All that other leader stuff, they can lead. Now he want to coach. Do they understand that a coach's job is to lead, become a leader of men? Not only just X's and O's, but you got to lead these men. And here we are talking, you know what, it might be Meek. Look here. If Kyrie leading, I ain't going. I don't want to go nowhere he going. I don't want no parts of that. KD, I'm good. Tremendous players, but I ain't following them. Oh, you know, it might be me one day. Who knows? It might be KD one day. It might be Jacques Vaughn. Steve, ain't nobody mentioned Steve Nash. He's the head coach.
Yep.
Good luck. That's your team. Those are your guys. Good luck with that one.
This is why I just might pick Doc Sixers to win the East next year. You said, how can you? Well, this is why. Obviously, the Nets will be talented enough next year to play the Clippers in the NBA Finals because the Clippers are going to win the West next year.
Oh, my God. Still on that trip.
But this is why next year's Nets could turn back into the Knots, as in not there when you need them to be there. This is so wrong on so many levels. This is even worse than saying Earth is flat.
Yes.
This is beyond Earth is flat.
Yes.
This is a first. I've never heard a star and then co-signed by the other star saying, you know what, we don't even need a head coach because some days I can be the head coach and then other days you can be the head coach.
Right.
What are you talking about?
What is that?
Then you don't get it because somebody has to have final say, especially in a moment of crisis.
Yes.
Who's going to take the last shot? What play are we going to call? Or as simple as, are we going to practice tomorrow or not practice tomorrow?
The timeout situation, the rotation, Skip. So I guess, so in other words, Skip, what they're telling you, they're going to determine who plays and how much they play.
Apparently so.
Okay.
What's our strategy going to be tonight? Are we going to play zone or man-to-man? I don't know. Kyrie might come in some night and say, I feel like playing zone.
So what is Steve Nash and Jacques Vaughn? Why are they even there? They're getting free money. If Kyrie and KD going to do it, so why do they even need them, coach?
So let's just say hypothetically that Doc had just been hired to coach this team. Do you think they would have said that? No, they wouldn't say that because they would have way too much respect for Doc, and they would know Doc would not sit still for any of those kind of comments.
Correct.
Instead, they went out and hired, once again, we've seen it happen many times before and sometimes work out, but they hired a great player with zero head coaching experience.
Right.
So it's okay, they think, in their minds, and to me, both... Go ahead.
You know why, Skip? You know why they feel it's okay? You got the job because we said so.
Yeah, they do.
That's why you feel it's okay to talk. Skip, that's how. When someone feels that you're beholden to them, they'll talk to you any kind of way.
So this is why these two, they act like, to me, they're obviously supremely talented players, and they have proven it at the highest level. Both of them have. But they operate like kids to me. They're like two kids who are besties, and they say, hey, what if we do this? And for some reason, Kevin follows Kyrie like crazy. Kyrie has proven, away from LeBron, not to be a great leader. Obviously, he thought he could be in Boston. But leading is not throwing all your teammates under the bus. That's
not
driving
over them in the bus.
Yes, that's what he did multiple times until he alienated the entire team and the entire franchise.
Correct.
And finally, it wouldn't work anymore, and Kyrie had to get up out of there.
Yes.
Right?
And then he did the same thing in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Threw them under the bus.
He's already at it again. But he's besties with KD, and at the last second, he's saying, why don't we go to Brooklyn? Brooklyn? Kevin's like, this is the way I read it. It was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, why don't you want to go to the Knicks? They're the flagship of the, you know.
I mean, KD said, well, he didn't want the Knicks fans, or he didn't want to be a savior. He just wanted to just go hoop.
Okay, but if they both went and saved the Knicks, would that not be historical? Would that not be a legacy move?
It's funny that KD, he just want to go hoop now. But he didn't want to go hoop earlier. He wanted to go link up, get them championships.
Yep.
Get that pressure. Because you know, Skip, the longer you go without a championship, the more the pressure mounts. Because at the end of the day, when you're a talent like Kevin Durant, you're judged by championship. That's just the way it is. I hate that it's become like that. It's either championship or you a bum, but that's the way it was. So now he just want to go hoop. That ain't what he wanted to do before. He wanted to go link up with Golden State, become overwhelming. I mean, everybody's like... You saw it. Man, I don't even want to watch it now. Ain't nobody beating Golden State. Ain't nobody coming out of the West but Golden State. And it's going to be Golden, and Cleveland just doesn't, and the Cavaliers just don't have enough. I mean, I don't even want to watch the finals. I don't even want to watch the finals. Now, all of a sudden, he just want to hoop. Man, stop it. I mean, I can't, like I said, with Steve Nash, good luck. I wish you the best, brother. I really do. But that's what happens, Skip. You ever been with somebody, Skip? They help you get a job, and every time you turn around, man, you know I helped them get that job. Man, I helped them get, hey, tell them what I did for you. Well, you got to remind people what you did for me. Why the hell you do it?
Well, watch what happens this year. You think the drama king has drama? This is going to be the drama team.
That's your team. That's your team.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see how this Nets situation unfolds. But will Dak and Baker end up in a shootout on Sunday?
Oh, shake it, bake.
No mercy.
This week, Baker Mayfield said that Sunday against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys might come down to a shootout, and Baker said that would be great. So, Shannon, what's Dak's line, what's Baker's line, and what is the final?
Well, I can see Dak piling up a lot of yardage in garbage time. He's probably going to throw for another 385, maybe even 400 yards. And they're going to be in garbage time. They're going to catch the L, though.
Really?
But this is what I do know. If Baker Mayfield throws for 350 yards, they're losing this game. This needs to...
Is he?
No. Nick Chubby. Chubb Rock and Kareem Hunt going to run for 250.
And what's your score?
29-26.
29-26.
Yep.
Well, that's not a lot of garbage time. That's still a game.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. They're going to be behind. Skip, you know how y'all do it.
Yeah.
You know how y'all get behind by 15, 16 points and then make a valiant effort.
So it's going to be 29-3 going to the fourth quarter, and they're going to roar back to 26?
I think they'd probably be like 20, I'll say 29-12.
I see it upside down from you, and I'm going to be right this time because I got big day from my guy Dak, 25 of 35 for 375, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. And I said Baker will be okay, 15 of 25 for 215, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. If Nick Chubb goes for 150, I lose, but I do not think he'll go for 150.
They're gonna go for 200 between the two of them.
Okay.
I like my chances.
I love my chances. I got Dallas 35-21. We have 2 cases, and I gave you 6 points.
Yep, you sure did.
Done.
I'm gonna come
Thank
here.
you.
Skip, you know I'm gonna come here really happy. Hold on, I come here Monday up 3-0.
Laker parade on Monday.
Minus, you be, oh man.
Yep.
I'll be feeling
Well,
real
it's going to be a
good
good
come Monday.
matchup. That's all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for hanging out. Have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday at 9:30 Eastern.
Lego.